So today, for Late Night Library, because November is Food Month, we're going to be making bacon cakes, which is a very important food that I'm pretty sure I invented. Although, this being Portland and bacon being what it is in today's pork product climate, it's entirely possible that someone else is doing it. Let me just go over what you need. First of all, pancake mix. I like Snoqualmie Falls large pancake mix because it's the pancake mix best related to the Twin Peaks franchise. Second, bacon. This is from my parents' store of bacon products, which is why it's in a Ziploc bag. I cannot speak to what brand it is, but I'm pretty sure it's actually from a pig. Third, a stove. So first you're going to get your pancake mix ready, which as you can see I've already done. I like to put a little extra water in my pancake mix just because thick pancakes, you kind of get that diner late at night coming off of drugs, trying to choke down some kind of bread product effect, which is pretty unpleasant. Then you're going to get your bacon. And as you're heating up your pan, I recommend dividing it into more reasonable amounts because remember, you're going to be having to consume this bacon as part of a pancake-related whole. So I'm just going to cut this into thirds through its fatty goodness. Ta-da! So now we're going to fry our bacon. And I'm going to let this go until it's about par cooked. So until it's fairly close to its fully cooked state. Definitely not raw enough to make us feel sorry for eating it, but just not ready enough so that if we pour pancake batter over it and have that extra time to cook it, it doesn't get gross and black and charred looking. The bacon cake came into existence when I began experimenting with mixing various meat products with pancakes, and for a while I was very fixed on the ham cake. I think partly because I was intrigued by the presence of the ham dinger on a Mystery Science Theater 3000. And started off by kind of searing a nice piece of Christmas ham, so this would be winter of 2007, and pouring pancake batter over. But what I found was that while the ham got nice and hot and hammy and wonderful, hot and hammy, which is a great new euphemism for sex, I think, the pancake batter didn't really get fully cooked because it couldn't heat through the ham. So I thought, what is a meat that is both heavy and fatty and yet a beautiful lacy filigree of meat presence? And the answer came back, inevitably, bacon. So I began experimenting with the bacon cake. The other thing the bacon cake really has going for it is that much like ham, bacon is best enjoyed with syrup, especially if you get some nice maple bacon, which already has some sweetness in it. You can kind of augment that with the presence of maple syrup and really create a wonderful, meaty, starchy, fatty whole. The other thing you'll notice about the production of the bacon cakes is that I don't drain any of the grease off. And I also think that the people who cook bacon and put it on paper towels to kind of degreasify are Philistines, because obviously if you're eating bacon, you want to be eating grease. And what happens with the bacon cake is that the pancake itself cooks in the beautiful, melodious grease. And you get this wonderful infusion of all the things I've named previously. And it's a magical experience. This leads us to our final main ingredient, which is maple syrup. I think that real maple syrup is one of the primary joys of life. I mean, we can all go through life kind of drinking pancake syrup and not downloading shows from the internet as soon as they come out, or we can be bad and going for the real thing in both cases. And that's one of the times when I feel it's really necessary to do what you gotta do. This is Kirkland's signature, by the way. But I'm assured that it comes from real trees. It's a product of Canada, which is important. You want your maple syrup to be Canadian and to believe in universal health care. All right, so our bacon is nice and par cooked, which means that it's kind of basically ready on the sides of the bacons that I have turned up and still cooking on the side that's still maintaining contact with the skillet. So now I'm going to introduce our batter. Okay. The important thing is to get all of your bacons covered, which you can tell when their trademark sound sort of dies down a bit. And You can sort of see the bacon grease seeping out from the edges of the pancake and burbling in exquisite joy as starch meets fat and meat meets flour, and all the most important food groups commingle in ecstatic bliss. I learned from the Ramona books, which is where everyone learns anything, that you know a pancake is ready when it's making bubbles on the top part and they're just starting to burst. The other thing I think the bacon cake can tell us is that the conventional analogy of the Great American Melting Pot is almost but not quite right, because as you'll see when this is done, the essence of the bacon is able to infuse the pancake, and the pancake structure is able to impose a sense of togetherness on the bacon pieces themselves, which otherwise would just be separate yet wonderful pieces of food. And I think the American experience is a little bit like this, where we have the starch of the pancake, the fat of the bacon. It's kind of like the roar of the grease paint, the smell of the crowd, each maintaining their individuality and yet mingling and making each other better. I think this is ready to be flipped. I'm going to show you this. Got the bubbles. Let's give it a try. This is a big one though. This could end in tears, but I'm still going to eat it. The other nice thing about a bacon cake is that even if it ends up in kind of a bread tangle type situation, it's still delicious and beautiful. And we're just going to cook this a little bit more. I don't really like to overcook my pancakes. I actually like them to be a little bit raw in the center, which people think is weird. But cook that however much more you like. And then serve it up to your adoring crowd. And actually, you get this bacon side up for full effect. Oh. Ha-ha! That is the sweet smell of success. Our bacons are suspended in their doughy paradise with all the beauty and tranquility of angels sitting on clouds in a Renaissance fresco.